Tom worked alone at a small relay station far from busy space lanes. The station floated in a quiet stretch of space where stars looked dimmer and ships rarely passed. Most days were the same. Tom checked signals, repaired old panels, and logged reports that few people ever read. He liked the quiet. It gave him time to think or sometimes not think at all. The relay station was old, built long before Tom was born. Its halls were narrow, its lights soft and yellow. The walls carried marks from years of repairs. Tom knew every sound the station made. A low hum meant power was steady. A sharp click meant a panel needed attention. Silence usually meant nothing was wrong. That night felt normal at first. Tom finished his last system check and stretched his arms. He planned to make a simple meal and rest. As he walked toward the living section, he heard a sound that did not belong. It was faint, like a soft scrape near the outer door. Tom stopped. He listened carefully. The sound came again, slow and uneven. His first thought was a loose panel, but the noise was too careful, too controlled. His hand moved toward the emergency console, just in case. He walked closer to the door, step by step. When the light shifted, he saw her. She was sitting on the floor near the entrance, pressed close to the wall as if trying to disappear into it. She was small, smaller than most humans his age. Her skin had a pale, faintly blue tone, and her eyes were large and dark. Her clothes were torn and thin, not suited for space or cold metal floors. She looked up when she saw him. Her eyes widened and her body stiffened. She did not move away. She did not run. She looked like she had no strength left to do either. Tom froze. They stared at each other in silence. He had seen aliens before, of course. Anyone who worked space lanes had. But never like this. Never alone. Never hiding. Never looking so young and afraid. Tom slowly raised his hands, palms open, showing he meant no harm. He spoke softly. "It's okay," he said. "I'm not going to hurt you." The girl blinked. Her breathing was fast and shallow. She seemed to struggle with the words forming in her mind. When she spoke, her voice was weak and uneven, like she had not used it in a long time. "My name is Ava," she said. Tom nodded. "I'm Tom." She swallowed and looked down at her hands. They shook slightly. "I am the last," she said slowly. "The last of my kind." The words hit him harder than he expected. Tom had been trained for emergencies. If an unknown alien appeared on a station, protocol was clear. Report immediately. Do not engage. Wait for authorities. Those rules existed for a reason. But when he looked at Ava sitting on the cold floor, thin and exhausted, those rules felt far away. She lifted her head again. "I need help," she said. "Please." Tom's finger hovered near the console. He looked at her again. At the way her shoulders trembled. At the marks on her skin that looked like old burns or sickness scars. At the fear she tried to hide but could not. He lowered his hand. "Okay," he said quietly. "Let's get you somewhere warm." Ava looked at him as if she did not believe what she heard. Slowly, carefully she stood. Her legs wobbled and Tom stepped closer, ready to catch her if she fell. She leaned against the wall instead, taking small breaths. Tom guided her to a small room near the living area. He brought a blanket and wrapped it around her shoulders. She clutched it tightly as if afraid it might vanish. "Sit," he said gently. She obeyed, sinking onto the bench. Her eyes followed his every move. Tom brought her water. She drank it slowly, stopping often, like her body was not used to being safe. When she finished, she held the cup with both hands, staring into it. "I should call someone," Tom said, more to himself than to her. Ava's head snapped up. Fear flashed across her face. "No," she said quickly. "Please. If you call, they will take me away. They will decide. They always decide." Tom frowned. "Decide what?" She hesitated, then spoke very quietly. "That my people are gone. That I am unnecessary." The word felt heavy. Tom sat across from her. He did not touch the console. "Tell me," he said. Ava took a long breath. "My people were small in number," she said. "We lived quietly. We did not fight. When our world began to fail, we asked for help." Her voice trembled. "They said it was too late. That saving us was not worth the cost." Tom felt something tighten in his chest. "I ran," Ava continued. "I carried what I could. Knowledge. Memory. Hope. I came here because your signals are old. Quiet. I thought maybe no one would notice." She looked at him, eyes shining. "I did not expect kindness." Tom looked around the small room. The old walls. The quiet hum of the station. He had complained about this place many times. Called it forgotten. Empty. Now it felt important. You're safe here for now, he said. Ava's shoulders sagged and for the first time she truly relaxed. She leaned back against the wall, eyes closing just a little. Thank you, she whispered. Tom watched her carefully. He knew this choice would matter. He knew it might bring trouble. But he also knew one thing clearly. She had asked for help. And he had listened. Ava stayed on the relay station for several days before she spoke about her people in detail. At first she slept often. Her body was weak and Tom did not rush her. He brought her food in small portions and showed her how to use the water unit. She moved carefully, like someone afraid the ground might vanish beneath her feet. When she was stronger she began to talk. They sat together in the small common room. The lights were low and the stars drifted past the wide window. Tom listened while Ava spoke slowly, choosing her words with care. My people were peaceful, Ava said. We did not build weapons. We studied life. Plants. Balance. Tom nodded. How many were there? Never many, she replied. Even at our strongest we were few. She explained that her world was gentle but fragile. The air, the water, the land, all worked together in careful balance. For a long time her people lived well by respecting that balance. But the world changed. The core cooled. The seasons broke apart. Crops failed. Water turned bitter. We tried to fix it, Ava said. We learned. We planned. But we were too slow. Tom leaned forward. Did you ask for help? Yes, Ava said softly. Many times. She told him how her people reached out to nearby systems. How they shared data, offered trade, offered knowledge. Some species listened. Many did not. They said helping us would take too much time, Ava said. Too many resources. They said our numbers were small, so our loss would not matter. Her voice did not break. It was steady, almost numb. That frightened Tom more than tears would have. So they turned away, Tom said. Ava nodded. One by one. Her people tried evacuation. But ships were limited. Time was limited. Disease spread as systems failed. In the end, only one preservation craft remained. That was mine, Ava said. They chose me because I was young. Because I could learn. Remember. Tom swallowed. That's a lot to carry. Ava looked down at her hands. I carry more than memory, she said. She stood and walked to the small console she had been using. With careful movements she activated a projection. Light filled the air, forming shapes and symbols Tom had never seen before. This is us, Ava said. Our biology. Our growth patterns. Our way of adapting to new worlds. Tom stared. The data was deep and complex, yet ordered. It showed how her species could grow again, slowly if given the right conditions. You carry all this? Tom asked. Yes, Ava replied. It is encoded in me. In my mind. In my cells. Tom felt a chill. You're like a living archive. Ava nodded. But knowledge alone is not enough. I need tools. Space. Time. Support. She turned to face him. I cannot rebuild my people alone. The room felt very small then. Tom understood what she was really asking. Not just for shelter. Not just for safety. She was asking him to stand with her against the choice the galaxy had already made. Helping her would mean breaking laws. Reporting her would end everything she carried. Even trying to help would draw attention. Authority. Judgment. He thought of his quiet life. The routine. The safety of being unnoticed. Then he thought of Ava's empty world. If we try, Tom said slowly, everything will change. Ava met his eyes. I know. Tom stood and walked to the window. Stars passed in silence, uncaring and endless. Humanity had once been small too. Forgotten. Dismissed. He turned back to her. I don't know how to save a species, he said honestly. Ava nodded. I don't expect you to. Then why me? Tom asked. Ava answered without hesitation. Because you listened when others did not. Tom exhaled slowly. He felt fear. He felt doubt. But beneath it all he felt something stronger. Purpose. All right, he said. We'll figure it out. Together. Ava's shoulders relaxed. For the first time since she arrived she smiled, not wide but real. In that moment Tom knew his life on the relay station was over. Whatever came next would be bigger than both of them. Tom began working the next morning and did not stop. The relay station was never meant for research, but it held old data cores that connected to human networks. Many files were outdated, forgotten, or marked as failed projects. Tom opened them one by one. He read reports about human colonies that had almost vanished. He studied records of planets that were once thought impossible to live on. He searched for anything that showed how humans had saved themselves when no one else helped. Ava watched from a corner of the room. She sat quietly on a bench, wrapped in the same blanket Tom had given her on the first night. She did not interrupt. She did not ask questions. She only observed. Her eyes followed Tom as he moved between screens, typed commands, and spoke softly to himself. Tom worked long hours. He skipped meals without noticing. He slept in short breaks, waking with ideas still forming in his mind. His eyes grew tired and his hands ached, but he kept going. He pulled up records of old human recovery projects. Some were about frozen seed banks saved from ruined worlds. Others described artificial habitats built from scrap. There were programs about genetic repair, slow population growth, and teaching knowledge across generations. Many of these projects had failed. Tom read those reports carefully too. He wanted to know why. He wanted to avoid the same mistakes. Ava noticed how his face changed when he read certain lines. How his jaw tightened when he saw the words abandoned or too costly. She did not fully understand what she was seeing, but she felt something strong in the room. One evening she finally spoke. "Why are you doing this?" Tom looked up from the screen. "Because we need a plan." "No," Ava said softly. "Why for me?" Tom paused. He leaned back in his chair and rubbed his eyes. "Because you asked," he said. Ava tilted her head. "Others were asked. They refused." Tom nodded. "I know." "Then why are you different?" she asked. Tom looked at the dim lights above them. "Humans didn't always have help," he said. "There were times when no one thought we would make it either." He pulled up an image on the screen. It showed an early human colony on a red, broken planet. "This place failed," he said. "No one came to save them. They saved themselves. Or tried to." Ava studied the image. "Many died," she said. "Yes," Tom replied. "But some lived. And they learned. And the next group did better." He turned to her. "Humans survived because they helped each other. Even when it was hard. Even when it seemed pointless." Ava was quiet for a long time. "My people helped each other too," she said. "But it was not enough." Tom shook his head. "Maybe not then. But that doesn't mean it's over." He returned to his work. Days passed like this. Tom searched deeper systems. He accessed old military storage files that had been cleared for reuse. He found designs for small, self-sustaining habitats. He studied slow-growth models that could rebuild a population without strain. Some nights, Ava fell asleep sitting upright watching him. Tom would notice and quietly place a cushion under her head. Other nights, she stayed awake, listening to the soft sound of keys and screens. She did not understand his focus. She had been raised to believe humans were fast, loud, and careless. She had been taught that humans valued expansion more than patience. Yet here he was, working with care, checking each detail twice, refusing shortcuts. One night she asked, "What happens to you if this fails?" Tom did not look up. "I'll lose my job. That is all." Ava asked. Tom shrugged. "Maybe more." Ava stood and walked closer. "You could be punished," she said. "You could be removed. Washed. Restricted." Tom finally turned to her. "Probably." "Why accept that?" she asked. Tom thought for a moment. "Because some rules are made to protect systems," he said. "And some are made because it's easier to say no than to try." Ava studied his face. "And you choose to break them." "I choose to bend them," Tom said. "As far as I can." He showed her a simple plan. Not a full solution, but a beginning. A place where her species could grow slowly, carefully, hidden at first, safe. Ava looked at the design. Her hands trembled slightly. "This could work," she whispered. "It might," Tom said. "No promises." Ava looked at him. "You really believe this matters?" Tom nodded. "Saving a life always matters. Saving a future matters even more." She lowered her head. "My people would not understand this." Tom smiled faintly. "A lot of humans wouldn't either." He worked through the night again. As the station rotated, stars shifted outside the window. Somewhere far away, ships followed their routes, unaware of the choice being made in a forgotten relay station. Tom reached a point where he had to decide. To continue, he would need to send data beyond approved channels. He would need to use systems meant only for emergencies. He stared at the authorization screen. Ava stood behind him. "If you stop," she said quietly, "I will understand." Tom closed his eyes for a second. Then he entered the code. The system accepted it. Tom exhaled slowly. "That's it," he said. "No turning back now." Ava placed her hand over her chest, a gesture of deep meaning to her kind. "Thank you," she said. Tom leaned back in his chair, exhausted. We're not done, he said. But we've started. Ava looked at the glowing screens, at the future slowly forming in lines of light. For the first time since her world died, she felt something she had almost forgotten. Hope. Tom looked at her and knew the same thing. The rules no longer mattered. Saving a life did. The officials arrived without warning. Tom noticed the change before he saw them. The relay station's outer sensors shifted priority, and the soft hum of the system changed tone. Incoming signals stacked up all at once, clean and official. No traitor codes. No maintenance tags. Tom straightened slowly from his seat. Ava felt it too. She looked up from the console, her eyes wide. They found us, she said quietly. Tom did not answer right away. He checked the display, already knowing what it would show. 3 ships. Small. Black. Marked only with authority clearance. They were always going to, he said. The docking clamps engaged with a dull sound that echoed through the station. Footsteps followed soon after, measured and calm. Not rushed. Not aggressive. Tom stood between Ava and the door without thinking. When it opened, 4 officials entered. 2 humans, 1 taller woman with gray hair pulled tight, and 1 shorter man with sharp eyes. Behind them stood 2 non-human officers, their faces unreadable. They did not draw weapons. They did not shout. The woman stepped forward. Tom Hale, she said. You are the station operator here. Yes, Tom replied. I am Karen Mills, she said. We are here regarding an unauthorized presence and use of restricted systems. Tom nodded. I expected that. Her eyes moved past him and settled on Ava. Ava stiffened but did not hide. Karen's voice stayed calm. Is that her? Yes, Tom said. Her name is Ava. Karen studied Ava for a moment, then returned her gaze to Tom. You did not report her arrival. No, Tom said. You accessed sealed archives, the shorter man added, and sent data through emergency channels. Yes, Tom said again. Karen folded her hands. You understand the seriousness of this. Tom took a breath. I do. Karen paused. Then explain. Tom did not rush. Ava is not a threat, he said. She is the last of her people. She came here because she had nowhere else to go. The shorter man frowned. That is not your decision to make. Tom met his eyes. Someone had to make one. Karen raised a hand slightly, signaling patience. Go on. Tom spoke clearly, keeping his voice steady. He explained Ava's world, the collapse, the refusal of aid. He explained the knowledge she carried and the chance it represented. He did not exaggerate. He did not beg. She is hope, he said simply. Nothing more. Nothing less. One of the non-human officers shifted. Many have claimed such things before. Tom nodded. Most didn't mean it. Karen looked past him again. Ava, she said gently. Will you step forward? Ava's breath caught. Fear rose in her chest like a cold wave. Every memory of closed doors and turned faces pressed against her mind. But she stepped forward anyway. She stood beside Tom, smaller than all of them, her hands shaking. But her voice, when she spoke, was clear. I did not come to harm anyone, Ava said. I came to survive. And to remember. Karen's expression softened, just slightly. You understand what is at stake. Ava nodded. I understand more than you think. She lifted her hands and activated her internal projection. Light filled the room. Data flowed, careful and precise. Patterns of growth, balance, and renewal unfolded in the air. This is my people, Ava said. What we were. What we can be again. The officials watched in silence. The shorter man's frown faded. This is advanced, he admitted. It is careful, Ava said. Slow. It does not demand much. Only patience. Karen turned to Tom. You believe this can work? Yes, Tom said. Not fast. Not loud. But it can work. Karen walked slowly around the projection. Most species asked for rescue, she said. For ships. For resources. Ava met her gaze. We ask for time. The room stayed quiet. At last Karen exhaled. Human methods, she said softly. Always trying again. Always starting small. Tom said nothing. Karen looked at Ava. If we allow this, she said, there will be oversight. Ava nodded. That is fair. There will be limits, Karen continued. Checks. Long evaluations. I accept, Ava said. Karen turned back to Tom. And you, she said. You broke protocol. Yes, Tom said. You may lose this post. Tom shrugged lightly. I knew that. Karen studied him for a long moment. You remind me why humans are difficult to manage. Tom allowed himself a small smile. We hear that a lot. Karen turned to the others. They spoke quietly among themselves. No raised voices. No sharp words. Finally she faced them again. We will report this as a preservation case, she said. Under human-led recovery supervision. Ava's eyes widened. You will help. Karen nodded. We will not stand in the way. The shorter man added, your methods may succeed where ours failed. Ava closed her eyes. Relief washed over her so strongly her knees almost gave out. Tom steadied her with a gentle hand. Karen looked at them both. Do not waste this chance. We won't, Tom said. The officials turned to leave. No restraints. No force. As the door closed behind them, the station felt different. Lighter. Ava let out a long breath. They listened, she whispered. Tom nodded. Sometimes that's enough. Outside, the black ships detached and drifted away, leaving the relay station alone again. But this time it was no longer forgotten. The decision spread slowly through official channels, but its effect was felt almost at once. Ava's people were given a chance to return, not all at once, not in great numbers, but carefully and with care. Human teams helped design small habitats at the edge of quiet systems, places where life could grow without pressure. Nothing was rushed. Nothing was forced. Ava stayed on the relay station while the first steps were taken. She worked with human specialists through screens and data links, explaining her people's needs in simple terms. She corrected mistakes gently and praised progress often. She never spoke as someone in charge, only as someone who cared deeply. Tom watched all of this from a distance. He returned to his daily work soon after the officials left. He checked signals, fixed panels, and filed reports. His life slipped back into its old shape, quiet and steady. He did not ask for rewards. He did not ask for a new post. When offered a transfer to a better station, he declined. This place still needs someone, he said. The relay station remained old and worn, but it no longer felt empty. Ava visited Tom less often as her work grew. When she did, they spoke simply. About small successes. About long timelines. About patience. They will grow slowly, Ava said one evening, watching the stars through the window. That is how we survive. Tom nodded. Slow works. She looked at him. You changed the path of my people. Tom shook his head. You did that. No, Ava said softly. You listened. The day Ava left came quietly. A transport arrived without ceremony. No crowds. No speeches. Ava stood near the docking door, wearing simple clothes, her posture calm and sure. She looked older now, not in age but in purpose. You don't have to go, Tom said. Ava smiled. I do. They need me. She paused. But I will remember this place. And you. Tom nodded. That's enough. She stepped forward and embraced him gently, a gesture she had learned from humans. Hope survived here, she said. Because someone listened when it mattered. Then she turned and walked onto the ship. The transport left, quiet and steady, fading into the dark. Time passed. News of Ava's people spread slowly through the galaxy. Not as headlines but as stories told by travelers. A species thought lost was growing again, guided by careful human methods. No conquest. No rush. Just patience and care. Humans were spoken of differently after that. Not as the loud newcomers or the restless builders but as listeners. As those who stayed when others turned away. Tom continued his work. Some days were lonely. Some days were peaceful. Sometimes he received short messages from Ava. Updates. Thanks. Simple words. He never answered with much more than encouragement. The relay station remained far from busy space lanes. Ships still passed it by without notice. But once in a while someone would stop. They would ask quietly, "Is this the place?" Tom would nod. "It is." They would rest, refuel, and leave calmer than they arrived. The galaxy moved on as it always did. But one choice, made in a quiet station by a single human, stayed with it. Hope survived. Because someone listened.